Hi there, Coni Meyers here, and welcome to the third Facebook Live Kickbutt Leadership Conference. And I have with me my co-host, Kim White, with the My Sexy Business team. And I just can't tell you, she's been with me for the last two, and now she's joining me for the third one. So we're making a pretty good team of this, don't you think? And she is wearing a hat that says hot mess. I just want to clarify that
yes, I am.
It's been a crazy morning this morning. That's why we're a little bit late getting started. So I want to first talk about what kickbutt really means, because kickbutt is not an Army drill sergeant. Let me just say that. Some people think when I say kickbutt that you're going to be heading into the Marine Corps or something, but that's not at all what it is. Kickbutt is when mindfulness meets vision, opportunity, and engagement. And in this day and age, it's very important that you are a kickbutt leader. It's been proven over and over again that we must be very mindful, and we need to use the tools that are out there in the present century, in the present time, to be able to be the best we can be when it comes to being a leader. And so the people I have on this next 3 days, I have chosen because of their special leadership abilities. And some of them I've known for a while, and some of them are new friends. And so I'm very, very, very excited. This first lady, the first time I met her through Kim, and the first time I met her, she knocked my socks off just because of her personality and her sparkliness. And I would love to introduce to you Christie Garcia. Christie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
So Christie has a business called Sparkle Your Biz. And I love her tag. One of the taglines is that she is the biz coach for bossy ladies. And
for boss.
I
added the.
You're the one that added it. Okay.
She's the biz coach for a bossy princess.
Oh, okay.
That's what I tease her. She's the biz lady.
For boss ladies. Biz coach for boss ladies. Anyway, so Christie, the first thing I always ask everybody is, were you a leader as a child?
A hard yes. I was definitely a leader as a child. I was the one that rallied everyone together and got things done, whether it be a project at school, whether it be on a team. Definitely a full-on leader as a child.
Wow.
And it hasn't changed.
And it hasn't changed a bit from what I understand.
I feel like I might have just got a little bit bossier as I got a little bit older. And I think that I just developed the leadership skills to actually get even more done.
So of the skills that you had as a child, what do you think is the skill that you still use today, besides being bossy?
I think that the drive and passion to have things done and have them done in a certain order, a certain process, or a certain way, I think that is definitely something that's followed me through to my adult life.
And I want to add something too. We're teasing her about being bossy. It's because she's no baloney. Like it's cut and dry as far as she's very kind. I just don't want to misrepresent you this morning.
No.
You are very kind and you are a great leader. You just aren't notorious for getting stuff done with no excuses. And so
that's a good way to put it, for sure. And thank you for clearing that up. I'm not a bossy lady, but I definitely you're right. No baloney. It's, no excuses. Let's get it done. And then let's celebrate it.
Well, and that really is all about accountability. It's all about organization. It's all about all those things that we all need to know and understand. Mm-hmm. What would you say, because one of the things that I know that you're very strong with is accountability. What is one of the things that you think is most important to have an accountability partner or somebody you work with?
I think somebody that understands your goals is huge. So somebody that understands where you're heading to, not just in the next week, next month, but in, your full plan, whether it's a 5-year plan or maybe it's 3 months, whatever that is. But understanding your goal is huge for the accountability partner. And trust is a big thing. So, if somebody's holding me accountable to one of my goals and I actually don't trust them because they're not, being accountable to their goals, that's probably not the best partnership. So trust and understanding of what the goals are.
Oh, definitely. I think, well, and that really boils down to a lot of self-management, right?
Definitely.
And I want to add this too. I just feel like I want to clarify things because you're one of my biz besties. And one of the things about accountability too is you can get a coach that has an agenda for you, like with their things on it, instead of getting a coach with someone who takes your goals and helps you have an agenda for that. And you are definitely that. That's what, to me, a real coach or a real leader looks like, is they help you accomplish your goals without them putting their goals on it.
Yes, absolutely.
So before you became a business coach, how did you get there? How did you get from a kid in charge to where you are today?
Oh my word, what a story that is. I was the kid that was like selling oranges to my neighbor and told them that they were better oranges than the ones at the grocery store. And that was at like 3 or 4 years old to now. That's a long story, but let me tell you. So I actually am a techie geek. And so my history in corporate is with business intelligence. And I was a leader throughout there. And then I really turned that leadership and just kept on building on it in different businesses. Sort of every pocket of my career that I've been in has been in a leadership role.
So what do you think the most important tools? I mean, part of self-management is problem solving, organization, dealing with stress. What are some of the things that you feel are most important for being a good leader when it comes to self-management, and how you could, because you want, like you talked about earlier, you want to gain trust. So what are some of the suggestions that you might have for, first of all, relieving stress as a leader and helping your team release stress, as well as organization and problem solving and decision making?
Yeah, I think that let's talk about stress management first, just because that is so huge. And both as a coach and as the client, relieving that stress. So, different things work for different people, but it's really figuring out what works the best for people. So, exercise works for everybody. I know it's a big secret. Not everybody knows. Just kidding. Exercise is the biggest one. So I really do work through, like, even if it's only a walk a day, something that's going to release those endorphins, get you, out of that stressful mind frame and things like that. Things like journaling, brain dumping, that is a big one. That's something that really works for me as stress management. Meditation works for so many people. I am still working on it because I know there's a trick in there for me somewhere. And having fun. So really knowing what you can do to have fun and really revisiting those passions that maybe you even had as a little girl. Maybe you liked swimming, maybe you liked horseback riding, whatever those things, and reigniting those are huge stress releases. So stress management is number one for me when it comes to self-management, for sure.
Well, those are all areas that are extremely important when it comes to stress management. Those are, it's been scientifically proven. If you do every one of those things, it's been scientifically proven that you will actually change your brain and reduce the amount of stress that you have. So how about when it comes to decision making or problem solving?
So decision making is also a skill in itself. So for me, things like writing that list of pros and cons down, and sometimes it's the simplest decision, but that when it's right there on paper, that helps me immensely. Making sure that it's moving me closer to my goal. So it might be a simpler or small decision, but if it's not bringing me closer to my goal, whether that's a business goal or that's a personal goal, then that goes on the con list. It always goes back to that. And that just wraps right back into also your organization skills and how that can help you with problem solving and decision making. So organizing your thoughts and the sticky notes, having a place where you can, go and organize all of your thoughts and all your processes. So those two go hand in hand to me, because if I'm not feeling organized, I can't make a decision at all.
Totally. Would you suggest that people do the same when they're dealing with their teams? How would be the best that a leader could help to do the sticky note process, for example, with their teams?
Absolutely. That's huge in any way, shape, or form. So whether I'm working with clients as a business coach or I was coaching as a manager of a team of 15 analysts, same process. So going through, doing sticky notes, doing that whole process. And if anyone doesn't know what the sticky note process is, oh my goodness, you're missing out. So, for me, it's about putting the big goal out there and then breaking it down into action steps, breaking it down into small things that are doable, attainable, and so you can celebrate some victories along the way before you even get to that big goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's like always having a vision of where it is you want to end up and then being able to find the steps to get there.
Absolutely. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So along with problem solving and decision making, a lot of time comes fear. And a lot of times when we have fear, we get stuck and we don't know what to do. When you have a client that is stuck or has fear, how do you help them through that?
Well, it's really about working backwards. So for me, it's about finding where that fear is coming from. So usually that fear isn't really as forefront as you want it to be. Usually it's something that's either happened or something that they've been fearing for a while, and it might not even be directly related to what they're fearing in the moment. So it's about working backwards and seeing where that fear is coming from, and then really helping them and almost holding their hand across the finish line to get through that fear. And then the next time they're doing things on their own.
I think that's a great suggestion. I think holding their hand is a very big deal, because that way they don't feel alone.
Yes, and we all need that.
Absolutely.
I do.
I always talk about it. I always talk about it. It's like Dorothy walking down the yellow brick road, and she comes across a field of dandelions, because fear is nearly nothing more than a weed that gets in our way.
Yep.
And I tell them, just go ahead and pull those dandelions in one hand and put them in the other hand, because that's grace and gratitude. And
I love that.
You make dandelion wine. So
I love that.
So how do you what about when it comes to getting stuck? What's the process? Is it the same as with fear? Because really being stuck is really nothing different than having fear.
Right. And it's really annoying to have fear and get stuck, to be quite honest. Like, it's that little thing that just is right there, and it's like, just go away. Same sort of process, a little different with stuck in the fact that, again, I go down back to the journaling or the sticky notes, where it's, where am I stuck? Is it I'm stuck in the whole process, or is there one thing that I just maybe haven't outlined and haven't put it out there so that I can get that piece done to move myself forward? So it's, again, looking at the whole picture and seeing, why is it really that I'm stuck? Is it actually a fear that's coming in, or is it a step that I've missed?
Oh, that's really good. So if it's something that you've missed, you just go back and do it, or?
Depending on where you're at. So if it's something that it's just like one step, go do it, Absolutely. Most times I say it's a little bit more complicated than that. So sometimes it's about maybe I actually missed a small goal. So maybe there was something like I'm trying, my husband always says I try to decorate before I paint. So, that sometimes is what will get, people stuck, is trying to go too far ahead and you haven't sustained this piece yet. So it's really looking at the picture of what exactly has me stuck and how I can get out of that and propel forward and move forward. Yeah.
I think some of the things you mentioned when it comes to self-management, like meditation and journaling and all those kinds of things, those also play a big role in when it comes to, getting unstuck and trying to find your way through something. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So do you have any personal mindfulness practices that you do?
First thing in the morning, definitely it's about, taking my stacked, as Kim calls them, index cards, and really, organizing them of where they're going to be sorted for the day. That is huge for me, planning. So Sunday is a big plan day for me. And then every morning, going through my plan, making sure I have a plan what I want to accomplish that day, my mini goal for the day. Those things are definitely the practices that I put in place. And a new one that I put into place, thanks to you ladies, is taking time and scheduling time for myself to recoup or renew myself. So if I have a heavy day, taking 15 minutes in the middle of the afternoon has been amazing. It really just fills me up again.
That is so, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it really is important. First of all, it's important for us to just take some time to breathe and bring us back into the present moment. And taking that 15 minutes not only does that, but it helps to refresh you, and it gives you an opportunity to celebrate the successes you've had so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. It's amazing. It's something I'm not ever letting go of.
Well, so many times people, they think they don't have time to take that time. And in reality, if they take the time, just like what Kim says, you slow down to go fast.
Oh,
And
yes, absolutely.
if you take that time, you will be able to move faster and be more organized and refresh yourself. Get yourself out of autopilot so that you're not, whizzing down the road, not knowing where you're going.
That's right. And even at the end of the day, I feel like a totally different person when I do that. Whether it's 4 o'clock comes, 6 o'clock comes, or even 8 o'clock, I have more energy. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm a better coach. I'm a better fur mom. I'm taking my dog for a walk because I have the energy. Or fur mom, did I say fur dog? So yeah, I'm just a better person when I do that and take some time. And, twice a day is ideal. Sort of that mid-morning and that mid-afternoon is a nice break.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Well, I think that's probably one of the most important parts of anybody's day, really. The time in the morning where you're planning your day, where you're celebrating the successes from the day before, you're taking some time to meditate and breathe, and then thinking about what you want the end of the day to look like, and then being able to take some time to remind yourself where you are during the day.
Exactly. And another thing I didn't mention is time management. That's a big thing for me. So if I've got my calendar planned, and it is honestly like a Bible for me, if that is set up and I know what I'm doing for the day, that is key for me. If that calendar is not set and I'm like running off the seat of my pants, and that day is usually a little bit chaotic. So time management for me is huge, and being realistic about it. Not assigning a half an hour to a task that is going to take probably 45 minutes to an hour, which already is going to put you ahead. So being realistic, assigning times. I even task in lunch. I put everything in my calendar, and that really helps me with that self-management piece as well.
Well, I always suggest to people that they should take a couple minutes ahead of like a phone call or a meeting or something and go for a walk and breathe. That way that helps them. And what do you do when something comes into your calendar you weren't expecting? How do you handle that?
Well, I do have an hour built into my calendar every day that allows for those pieces so I can rejig things for the rest of the day. So sometimes, depending if it's a packed day, I'll put 2-hour blocks, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Or if it's a medium day as far as meetings and things go, I'll just make sure I put that hour in the afternoon. So if something comes up, I can rejig most things to move into that spot.
Wow. Well, that's a great suggestion. I mean, because so many of us, I'm guilty of this. We plug our calendar so full that, you know, it's back-to-back phone calls or meetings or whatever, and things you got to do. And then there is no time if something happens to take it up. So leaving a little bit of room in there is really a good idea.
Yeah, and I think that really my kids taught me this because I am a mom of 2 teens, and let me tell you, things come up all the time. So I just started realizing I was disappointing either myself or other people when if things started having to move or if I had to cancel something. So blocking in that, at least I had an hour that I can move things into.
Sherry's on with us, and she says, everything seems to take more time as I get older. Boy, is that the truth.
Yes.
Well, Christie, I really appreciate you taking time. The name of your business is Sparkle Your Business.
Sparkle Your Biz.
And we'll post a link to your site so that people can reach out to you. I can tell you, I've only known Christie for a little bit now. And I tell you what, she is an amazing coach. She is an amazing human being. And I'm really enjoying getting to know her more and more and more. And I think she's one great coach. So thank you so much, Christie, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. You're both so amazing. And Coni, it's such a pleasure to be on your conference and getting to know you as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, we'll be back with Kelly Cornelson and in just a little bit. And
10:30 Central Standard Time.
10:30. Okay, 10:30 Central Standard Time. This is my coach, by the way.
Hot mess.
Yeah, the hot mess. Central Time, and we'll be back.
I'm Kim White with the My Sexy Business Team.
And I'm Coni Meyers with Kickbutt Leadership, and we'll be back.